Alrighty. I accidentally cracked my can for the test recording to make sure my audio was picking up properly. My bad. Skill issue. So, I did not crack my can at the start of the video, but I got myself a delicious Zero Ultra so I can take myself mentally to Agartha, where I belong, because Yakub made us, the Latinx people, to guide his Caucasian creations back to Agartha, where they belong. But that's neither here nor there. So this video was sent to me a long time ago by somebody who basically has the exact same opinion I do about this video. I did watch it back then, but that was like a fucking month ago. It was a while ago. I don't remember all the bullshit that's in here, but I'm going to be responding to it as it goes on. I'm not preparing notes. I'm not even going to look anything up. If I don't remember the pronunciation of something, or the spelling of something, or the name of something, I'm not going to look it up. I'm not a professional. It's not my job. No syllabus is here. So if I fuck up along the way, who cares? This fucking piece of shit, this guy's wrong. Just period. Look at the title. Look at this fucking title. I should probably move myself, right? Look, if I move myself, you can see the little free fucking, because I didn't pay for this, even though it's like $15, I should just pay for it. But look at this dumb shit. Nerds equal fascists that can't fight. Fucking, that's not possible. Okay, what he's talking about is the few nerds who aren't huge pussies, that didn't surrender to bullying, who didn't become collectivist weak fucking pussies, can't fight? No, motherfucker. When I was in elementary school, I got kicked out and suspended all the time because people with your skin color fucked with me because of my skin color. I got suspended constantly all of the fucking time because niggers, hard R niggers, wanted to fucking fight me because of my skin color. And I always won. I beat the shit out of 3 fucking black kids at the same time in 5th grade, and I got suspended for 2 weeks. And you know why that happened? Because I'm a nerd who can fight. I'm a nerd who always stood up to bullies. I'm a nerd who always fought back. That's why you became a faggot fucking communist, and I did not. Because I can fight. And the only reason you're even alive is because I'm not legally allowed to fight to make sure your religion doesn't exist. But sorry, I kind of blew my lid a little too early here. I'm going to put myself back in my fucking cuck corner where I belong, okay? My little VTuber corner where the VTubers belong, and I'm gonna hit play on the video. I'm gonna calm down. We'll go back to reacting like we're supposed to. So let's start it up.
My favorite DC character is Martian Manhunter.
Really? I had no idea.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to watch him sort of navigate the world as a person from somewhere else who's trying to indoctrinate himself into a culture that doesn't understand him. And
see, now that's communist faggot logic right there. He's trying to indoctrinate himself. You mean assimilate. He's trying to assimilate to another culture. But, of course, he can't see it that way because he's a communist.
He can't really share his culture with other people because everybody from where...
Also, he can't share his culture with other people because they're all dead. His culture's gone. It got erased. Bye-bye. It's gone. Fucking idiot.
He's from has been destroyed. He's
yep,
very
see,
alone, and I'm sure making a trip like that has to be really hard and really painful, and watching him go through that.
Oh, my Zero Ultra
really speaks to me.
Wow, dude, that's deep. It's really deep.
Yeah, so I hate immigrants.
And there it is.
I don't like it. I don't like it when you're not from here.
Come on.
Like when you're from somewhere else, yuck.
Dude.
I do not like that
Yuck.
when you're from somewhere else.
You know what? Kind of agree. Yuck. I don't like it when you're from somewhere else, but let's clarify that. Let's filter that through human language instead of communist fucking religious bullshit. And also, let's dislike this faggot fucking video, too. So, I hate immigrants. I hate immigrants because they're different. Yes, you hate immigrants because they're different. And I want to make this very clear. Every single leftist, without fail, 1,000,000% of the time, they always hate people for being different. When I, as an immigrant from the Detroit area, moves into fucking anywhere, any college town, if I were to move to Ann Arbor, they would hate me because I'm different and I'm from somewhere different. Because my values are different, because my culture is different. But But the big but here is I don't want to destroy America. I'm not an immoral monster. And let's make it very clear. Without exception, every single fucking brown person from every single country that the fucking global homo wants to import into every country is immoral. They're all evil people. There's zero exceptions. That's why they come here. These communists love it when evil monsters destroy Western nations, but they hate it when you defend them. What a fucking surprise. For some reason, they always hate the Nigerian Christian immigrants who come to America who are hardworking and assimilate to American culture. What a surprise. I, as someone who's supposed to be a far-right extremismist, I've never had a problem with Nigerian immigrants who are Christian and work hard. It's crazy how I never hated them. You can't make me hate them because they don't support bad things. They only support good things. Am I attracted to any Nigerian women? No. No, I'm not. Do I want to move to Nigeria? No. No, I'm not. But at least Nigerian Christian immigrants, everyone I've ever met has been a decent fucking person. But this fucking scumbag who tries to sit here and set up the stupid fucking straw man, well, I hate immigrants. That guy fucking hates Nigerian immigrants. He hates those hardworking Christians, but he fucking loves Muhammad Abdul ibn al-Rape kids because that guy's so great because he murders white people and rapes white women. Fucking piece of shit scumbag communist. Let's get onto the video for real. It hasn't even been a minute. I've been talking for an hour. Fuck this guy. Oh,
so I've been running into this
a good monster
peculiarity as of late, where I keep happening upon nerds who are, well, they're fascists.
They're not.
They are racist, homophobic.
They're not racist or homophobic.
Misogynistic, ableist, fascists.
They're just
they
moral.
Support fascist ideologies. They vote for fascist parties in government.
That's not fascism.
Paraphernalia,
and I want to stop right there. If you're watching my channel and you still think the Trumby is a fascist, you're retarded in 3 fucking directions, okay? He's not a fascismist. The Democrats are fascists by according to the original definition. If you ask Theodore Adorno, he's going to say Donald Trump is not a fascist, but Joe Biden was. There's no getting around that. Shut the fuck up, you're wrong. But the thing is, I voted for Donald Trump as the lesser of 2 evils, okay? 99% of people, sorry, I'm being a little hyperbolic, it's more like 60. 60% of people who voted for Trump didn't vote for him because he's our first choice. He's not hard enough on crime. He's not hard enough on illegal immigration. He's not hard enough on Israel, okay? The guy's just not a full-blown communist who wants to destroy the country. He's just addicted to juju cum. And I only say that because of a funny meme I could never find. Like, I used to see it posted a lot, and I haven't seen it in like 3 years. It's one of the funniest fucking things. I wish I could see it again. Sorry, let's get back to the video.
Which I will address later. But to sum it all up, these people are fascists, and I find it paradoxical in nature because everything nerds seem to be about should be antithetical to fascism.
He finds that paradoxical because they should be, but why should they be? He doesn't actually have a real reason. He makes up a bunch of bullshit. But I'm going to give you a hint. The nerds he agrees with, which make up the majority of nerds, are fascists. They do agree with fascists. And nothing they believe is actually antithetical to fascism if you actually accept their worldview when it comes to their presentation of the idea of media literacy. When they say media literacy, it's always translated to viewing all media through a Marxist critical theory lens. And Marxism is the base of we could not have achieved fascism without Marxism coming first. A lot of people don't like to hear that. A lot of people don't want to understand that. They don't want to read their actual theory. They want to read their papers. They don't want to listen to speeches. I get it. But that's the truth.
We like shows about rebellion, right? We root for the plucky young upstarts who want to overthrow the dictators, right? We don't get literal genocidal Nazis tattooed on us, right? Right? Well, much to my chagrin, it just isn't that simple. Many nerdy spaces in the last decades have been inundated with misogyny, racism, homophobia, and a myriad of other isms. Women don't feel safe going into GameStop. Black people don't feel safe cosplaying, and many people don't feel safe in their own comment sections. Well,
You want?
I intend on exploring that question and expounding upon what I find. So take a long walk off of a short pier with me while I explain how nerds became everything they hate, or nerds, fascists who can't fight.
So every single one of those things he's complaining about comes directly from Marxist fucking scumbags, especially narcissistic fucking psychopathic women who went into nerd spaces and abused nerds. People like me, who weren't huge pussies, who didn't instantly bend the knee because I grew up fighting, physically fighting, 180-day suspension every year of middle school fighting. When I got kicked out of fucking high school and went to the adult education facility, went out of my way to start street fights with the wrestling team at the local high school, fighting, physically causing injury to other people because it feels good to hurt people. Fighting? Yeah, you didn't fight. You're a weak pussy bitch, and that's why you bent the knee, and whenever somebody tried to bully you, you just gave up because you're a fucking pussy. You can't fight. That's what all this is about, and that's why all the nerds who did fight, all the nerds who at least stood up and didn't fight, but at least stood up to bullies, they hate you. And they hate these narcissistic, vile, monstrous women. And they hate the blacks that want to cosplay and then shit on Japanese culture. These black women that will dress up as anime girls and then constantly bitch about how bad Japan is and how they hate Japanese culture. If you hate anime, Japan, and Japanese culture, maybe go fuck yourself and fuck off forever. What the fuck are you doing here? Go back to EBT, or sorry, BET. I've been talking about the EBT warriors quite a bit. But yeah, go back to BET where you belong. You don't belong in the fucking anime anywhere. You hate Japan, you hate anime, shut the fuck up. But of course, black people are afraid of anime. Oh, people are afraid of their comment sections. And that's another thing, they're afraid. You're the majority of nerds, you fucking pussy. You fucking faggots. That's why you guys have the opinions you have. They're afraid of like the 40% of nerds who are actually have a fucking backbone and stand up for themselves, is what this is.
Before I get into this, I
Holy
need to
shit.
talk to you about today's sponsor. Nobody.
Why did I zoom out? What's going on here?
I have a sponsor. Please join my Patreon. It's $2. I'll put the link
That
in
was
the
weird.
thingy. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Yes, what is fascism? Watch him. I'm sorry, are you not tracking my face right now? There we go, that's better.
So what is fascism? By definition,
Yeah, what is it?
fascism is a governmental system led by...
Let's see, government system led by a dictator having complete power, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism, regimenting all industry, commerce, etc., and emphasizing an aggressive nationalism and often racism. Oh, and often racism, huh? Is that what it is? Where did this numb digger get this definition?
A dictator having complete power, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism,
Principles, and
regimenting
methods
all
of
industry,
fascism.
commerce, etc., and emphasizing
course.
an aggressive nationalism and often racism. According to dictionary.com, fascism today looks like blaming immigrants for the
Dictionary.com,
economic crisis and then rounding them up and caging them.
Okay, so it doesn't look like that. Because if you know anything about economics, you would understand why people are complaining about the infinity immigration actually causing economic problems. It's not complicated. It's very easy to understand, but that's fair. They're not just getting rounded up and put in cages. We're trying to deport them, but countries like... which one was it? Was it Venezuela that doesn't want to take their immigrants, so we're sending them to places like Rwanda for no reason? Yeah, that's not on us. We're not just putting them in cages and blaming them for problems. They are literally a problem. Also, they're all evil people without exception. I don't care. You can lie all you want about the new wave of illegals. I get the illegals that got here 20, 30 years ago. We can give them a little leniency. They don't know any better. I've met a lot of them. They barely speak English. Their kids speak English. They're all very dumb, like 70 IQ people that don't understand anything about anything. But the newest wave of illegals that came here because they're coached and because they're sponsored and because, like Israeli NGOs pay to bring them into our country and European countries. Those people are fucking monsters, and they need to be lynched, not just put in cages and deported, okay?
Suppressing people who speak out in opposition to the government.
Suppressing people who speak out in opposition to the government? You mean like, oh, I don't know, the intellectual dark web? Does anyone remember that term? I remember that term. I remember getting into arguments with a fucking woman who was a friend of mine at the time because her dumbass heard intellectual dark web and said, the dark web doesn't exist. There's no such thing as the dark web. Because she thought I was talking about the dark net, old fag term for people who use Tor clients to access the dark web. But no, I literally meant people who are on the World Wide Web, the regular normal fag internet, who are shadow banned and actually banned from like everything because they said things that were anti-establishment or pro-science.
Government via deplatforming or deportation.
Hey, look at that. A picture of Jimmy Kimmel, someone who wasn't targeted by the government. The FCC didn't step into that at all, actually. And a literal terrorist attack on their fucking headquarters is why he got his job back in the first place. Literally, people shot up the headquarters for that company that runs their bullshit. People literally shot out the windows of the fucking place and then went, oh, oops, we're afraid. We better give him his show back. But no, we'll pretend that the government suppressed him. Fuck off.
Consistent violent and racist rhetoric.
Violent and racist rhetoric. Well, look at that. The least violent fucking person on the planet that literally got murdered for his speech. That's the violent rhetoric.
Certain groups of people and constant propaganda.
Constant propaganda. It's propaganda when people disagree with him, but it's not propaganda when his religion is spread by force. Okay.
These are all things that most sci-fi and fantasy actively warns about and combats. The Borg from Star Trek, Galactic Empire from Star Wars, Principality of Xeon from Gundam, and Fire Nation from Avatar: The Last Airbender are all fascistic in nature, and they are all unambiguously the bad guys. Some people may disagree about the Xeon part, but they are wrong.
Well, they're
and I will
not, but
explain
okay.
why in a bit. But to bring it all back,
I'm not even a
US
Gundam
nerds
fag, and I
consume
know
a lot
that.
of anti-fascist media, but concurrently, a lot of those nerds seem to be virulently pro-fascist.
They're not.
But
They're never
how?
pro-fascist. I want to make this very clear. The few people who are literally pro-fascist tend to be like cucked fucking Zoomerwaffen fucking faggots. They're all weak. They're all pussies. It's easy to just punch them in the mouth. That's why they're fascists. It's why they're unironically National Socialists. I've seen people literally call themselves National Socialists because they have no understanding of history and go, oh, Hitler am the only one who ever fought communism, so me am Hitler now. Fucking idiots. They're pussies, they're weak, they're gay. If you are one of these people, you're a bitch, I'm out of shape, and I can still kick your ass. It's that easy. I don't have to get back into shape to beat your ass. But after I do get back into shape so I can maybe apply for this job at ICE, I don't know, we'll think about it. It'll be even easier for me to fold you like a fucking lawn chair.
How does this happen? How does a community of people who root for rebellion on TV become so pro-fascist in ideology and in praxis? Well, the answer is a bit unflattering.
I actually don't understand why you pulled up Lion King here. That seems like the stupidest fucking... Nobody gives a fuck about Lion King, kiddo.
To say the least.
Yes, nerds became stupid because they always succeeded in academia through obedience and subservience, not because they're actual problem solvers, not because they're actually intelligent. The vast overwhelming majority of people who are nerds obtain academic success because they are obedient, because they are subservient, not because they are intelligent. It's irrefutable. And I understand that every nerd who sees this, who went to college and got their 6-year, 4-year, 8-year degrees, you're going to tell me I'm wrong because you can't admit that you're fucking stupid people, but I've never met somebody who blindly follows whatever a person in position of authority has said and is actually intelligent. No, truly intelligent people push back on authority all the time, and you fucking monsters never do.
So the word nerd has 3 definitions from Merriam-Webster that I want to focus on. 1, a person devoted to intellectual, academic, or technical pursuits or interests. 2, a person preoccupied with or devoted to a particular activity or field of interest. 3, an unstylish or socially awkward person. So, the 3 definitions of nerd are some dude, and I mean that gender neutrally, who's smart.
I mean that gender neutrally. Like, yeah, people have been saying dude gender neutrally since dude became a word, you fucking retard.
Into something, and some dude who's just kind of corny. The first definition, and to some degree the other two, tend to be how nerds are represented to us in pop culture. Your Pidges and Steve Urkels, if you will. The issue is that the studious nature simply isn't a requirement to be a nerd. You just need to be really into stuff and bad at color coordination and you're in. We often forget that when considering nerds, so the space is full of people who don't read, don't look things up, miss the plot, came up in a horrible school system, and aren't politically aligned with much of the left-leaning messages of our shared media.
He's talking about himself, by the way. Him and everyone who's ever agreed with him, they don't actually read or do real research or understand any of these things. They just adhere to social orthodoxy. They just believe what they're told to believe. And they take it all at face value blindly.
Who look and talk like we do. We all got picked on. We all think Trunks is cool, but...
I never thought Trunks was cool. I'm going to say that right now. I never fucking thought that faggot was cool. I thought Yamcha was cool. I'm a Yamcha guy. I like Yamcha. I like Yajirobe. I don't like Trunks. I like Videl. Videl's my favorite fucking Dragon Ball Z girl. Not Android 18. That's not me. Sit here and say we all thought Trunks was cool. You thought Trunks was cool because you're fucking black.
Some of us are pro-MAGA and don't think women should vote. It's not that nerds became stupid. It's that many of them always were.
Yes, like you.
And we forgot that, or never considered it. I never considered people who were anti-empire in their fandoms would be pro-empire right at home. And that aforementioned...
Yeah, the Trumby's not very imperialistic. That's one issue I have with the Trumby. I want to make that very clear. I want a final crusade. I want a total global erasure of Islam. One of the biggest reasons I never joined the military when I was young, despite how badly I was fucked over in my youth, joining the military would have been one of the few stabilizing forces I could have had in my life. But at the time, the military was just going to the Middle East to make sure Raytheon and Lockheed Martin made $1 bazillion, and we had to, revive the fucking poppy fields out in Iraq and stuff. We weren't really doing empire stuff. We weren't really killing bad guys. Like, if you told me when I was 18 we were going to go to Mexico and root out the cartels, I would have been the first one to sign up. I would have cut my hair, and I would not like to do that. I'm not a haircut guy. I would have cut my hair just to go to Mexico and shoot up the fucking cartels. But instead, we're dicking around in a sandbox.
Stupidity is key to these contradictions. There are people who are watching these shows, listening to these bands, as this issue also includes music, and watch these movies who have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Except they do have an idea what's going on. It's you who supports literal and actual fascism and doesn't understand that.
Great example of this is the Gundam fandom. Now, for those of you who don't know what Gundam...
And for any of you Gundam fans out there, you're going to feel deeply offended by this because you tend to not be fascismists. He's just saying that because you like the cool-looking robots and you actually understand Gundam lore.
Is, for the purposes of this example, all you need to know is that people in space are at war with people on Earth. The people in space wanted independence, but wanted it peacefully. Then a dictator took over, a space colony was dropped on Australia, millions of people died, and the dictator declared the Principality of Zeon would wipe Earth out, despite the fact that Earth was going to agree to their terms pre-genocide. Meaning the murders were evil for evil's sake. Just recently, I made a post talking about the Principality of Zeon from Gundam being the bad guys, and a bunch of people flooded my comments saying that Zeon wasn't the bad guy, and that the robots looked cool, and
The robots look cool, so Zeon is the good guys. Based in Zaist. So true.
Well, I lost my shit. Largely because Zeon is very clearly Nazi. It's not hyperbole.
They're not Nazis. And it is hyperbole. It objectively is.
They have stormtroopers, which is a
Hell yeah.
type of Nazi soldier. The main bad guy calls his son Hitler at one point in the show.
Based. Calls his son Hitler. Awesome.
This is, again, not hyperbole. They were running around yelling Sub Zeon to each other. The Nazis were Nazis, and for some ungodly reason...
I'm being silly, but to be fair, they still weren't Nazis. Like, yeah, Nazi inspiration, it's not the same.
A chunk of the fan base didn't know, or worse, they didn't
Zeon wasn't
Zeon's
the bad
robots
guys.
looked cool. Even the redeemable Zeon guy ended up being a eugenicist who wanted to destroy Earth to force humans to evolve into super people called new types that had precognitive abilities and laid them to restart the human race.
It's funny he mentions that because a lot of leftists are huge into eugenics. They're all about doing abortions to make sure that certain genetic malformations just stop existing. That's not the right word. But basically, they don't want things like fucking Down syndrome to exist anymore. They're like, oh yeah, just abort babies with degenerative diseases. Just abort babies that are born mentally retarded or have physical... Let's just keep aborting babies so that humans can be perfect. Fuck off.
Literal image shit. And they didn't care. The big robot go burr. People even tried to argue that because Zeon was multiracial, that they couldn't be Nazis, as if the Axis powers of World War II weren't multiracial and multi-ethnic.
To be fair, yeah, that's kind of one of your big things about Nazis. And they weren't really multiracial or multi-ethnic. I don't really think you understand how any of this works.
Still Nazis. Or
Kidding. I know he doesn't understand how these things work. And they weren't all still Nazis. Like, the Kingdom of Italy and the Empire of Japan were not Nazi nations. Just the German National Socialist Party were Nazis.
at least Nazi sympathizers. And again, so many fans didn't know this. They watched a show whose run lasted for decades and had no idea what was happening. The same can be said of Star Wars fans who get Stormtrooper tattoos.
Because Stormtroopers look cool. It's that simple. They look badass. They're cool looking, obviously.
And love the Empire aesthetically, who are again Nazis.
They're not Nazis. They're not even remotely close. You had an inkling of an argument with Zeon, but not with the Empire.
Talking about the Empire in a different video I made, where a bunch of people argued that Stormtroopers weren't Nazis and that Star Wars isn't woke, like I was trying to make it. Yeah, that's right. I did. I made Star Wars work. Not the rebellion, not the fighting the fascist regime. No, I did it. It was all me. I made the...
It was people like you who undermined the message of the original Star Wars that made it woke, actually.
Ewoks trans to rot the minds of the children.
Disingenuous fucking nigger. You know you're lying about the comments that you received.
No, but really. People are buying fascist plushies and mugs, and now we have a generation of weirdos whose favorite franchise is about rebellion, but whose favorite characters are genocidal slave traders and their militia of Gestapo. And there is something to be said of Disney selling Nazi merch, but I don't have the time and...
There's something to be said about Disney selling Nazi merch? Big think there. Big think. Maybe it's because it's the coolest looking. Maybe they should sell cool looking things because people like things that look cool. Not because it's Nazism. And not because the people who like cool things are Nazis. You fucking faggot.
Other YouTubers said it already. The point is, there is an ever-growing number of people who have no media literacy.
God, I fucking hate One Piece. I don't know the story or the lore behind the stupid fucking Luffy redesign. I guess he got ultra super mega powers. It's gay as fuck. If you like this, you're retarded.
Or literacy in general, who are watching shows with left-leaning ideologies, who are incapable and uninterested in interfacing with the ideals head-on, and only watch for the carnage and boobs. And the boobs bring us to our next point.
The boobs bring us to power fantasy? Yeah, okay, retard. This is coming from someone who's a collectivist identitarian faggot, mind you. And when it comes to blacks in anime, boy, do blacks love their power fantasy. Negroes can't stand actual cerebral anime that has real stories that challenge your mind. No, they fucking can't stop eating up fucking shonen slop with power scaling. That's their favorite fucking thing. So don't you fucking sit here and bitch about power fantasy amongst nerds, okay, when it's you and yours that cause these fucking problems. And I don't mean that because I view all black people as a monolith, but because you're a collectivist faggot who views everyone based on group identity.
So we have a bunch of people, mostly men, who don't read, research, know any history, and have no interest.
Don't know any history? What a fucking surprise. He's gonna, yeah, you nerds sure don't know any fucking history. You're a perfect example of that guy.
In any sort of academic pursuit. But
who the
what I
fuck is
see
messaging me on
that
Steam?
a lot of
I'm
these
recording a
guys are
YouTube
losers.
video.
They are uncool, corny losers. I know this because I'm one.
Oh,
These
he
are
just
guys
admitted
who
he's
got
one of them.
picked
Okay.
on, beaten up, robbed, wedgied, noogied, etc. And going through that is horrific.
It's not horrific,
utterly
actually.
horrific.
So, as someone who didn't get any of those things, I just got the picked on part. I was too good at beating people up to get the rest of it. It's not horrific. You're just a pussy. You're a pussy, you're weak, and you deserved everything you ever received. You deserved it. Continuing.
I say this again as a guy who had to physically fight his way out of being bullied.
He never physically fought his way out of getting bullied. He's lying. I know he's lying. He's playing with nunchucks. I figured out how to do that in a week, too. It's not hard. I physically beat the shit out of people, and that's why I'm not a communist faggot. This guy can't fight. He's weak, and I will fold him in half and rape him. I swear to fucking God.
It sucks.
And it doesn't suck. It feels good to beat people up. It feels good to hurt people, especially the people who deserve it. It always feels good. It doesn't suck to actually stand up for yourself. It doesn't suck to come out on top. No matter how much I've been beaten down or fucked over by the people in power, especially the abusive, manipulative, psychotic fucking women who run schools, it doesn't matter how much they abused me and treated me like shit. It always felt good to beat up bullies, and it doesn't matter how much trouble I got in. It was always worth it.
And for a lot of dudes, like 15-year-old me, watching anime was my escape. Lord of the...
See, it was his escape. For me, it was just entertainment. It was just a fun thing to do. I liked Chinese girl cartoons from back then. A lot of anime nowadays kind of fucking sucks. I don't watch a lot of it because Japan started phoning things in. What the fuck is I was reincarnated as a fucking vending machine? Seriously? That's dog shit. Get the fuck out of here. But back in the day, Japan made a lot of good cartoons, and I deeply enjoyed them. But was I escaping reality? No. No, it was just a fun thing for nerds. I was a nerd who liked nerd things. It wasn't popular. Netflix didn't exist. This shit wasn't getting pushed onto people back then. People actively had to seek it out. Like me, I had to actively seek out anime. It wasn't served to me on a silver fucking platter. Yeah, Toonami existed, I guess. But that was about it.
Rings was my getaway. My dreams were full of escaping to far-off lands to live in the worlds of my favorite anime characters. I wanted to get isekai'd so badly, and I was not alone. A lot of kids like me had similar dreams. Our media was our escape, and that escapism is what led to a lot of what we're seeing now. Imagine, if you will, a 15-year-old boy who gets picked on, and after a long day of getting bullied at school, that kid comes home and turns on TV and starts watching Toonami and Dragon Ball Z is on, and this kid is using anime to escape. He's watching this show secretly hoping that he could be a Saiyan too, that he could power up and shake a continent with his ki, that he could use the Kamehameha on his bullies, his school.
That's nigger coded. That's a black people thing. Blacks love their power scaling, power fantasy faggotry. People who are predisposed towards leftism desperately need their power fantasies. I don't need power fantasy to enjoy my anime. In fact, that's why I'm not really a big shonen enjoyer. Because the power gets a little too ridiculous. It's just less entertaining to watch.
The whole town. Now imagine if that kid, after weeks, does nothing but engage in this power fantasy and has easy access to a gun.
Easy access to a gun? You mean if we lived in a real fucking country where communists didn't make it so fucking hard to buy guns? Anyone who doesn't want me to buy a machine gun at Walmart is a faggot that needs to die. Full stop. If you don't want machine guns available at Walmart, you're a fucking piece of shit and you deserve worse than death.
Lives in an open carry state.
Open carry state. Oh no! Oh, you can open carry. Fuck off. There's so much fucking regulation in open carry states, dude. Learn to do some fucking research.
And gets the wrong idea about how he should wield power from what he's watching. This kid isn't learning about forgiveness, discipline, and believing in yourself, which are all things Dragon Ball Z has in its writing.
Things he doesn't believe in, mind you. He doesn't believe in forgiveness. He doesn't believe in any of that shit.
He isn't incorporating the lessons of mercy and how harming people creates a cycle of violence that could have long-lasting effects.
Exactly. You don't care about harming people and the cycle of violence, which is why you actively adhere to a fucking religion that maximizes harm. You're constantly harming people and then surprised at the fact that people hate you and want to harm you back.
This kid sees people stronger than him beating people they don't like to a pulp. You throw Andrew Tate into that mix while showing a kid like that anime.
I've never met a nerd who takes Andrew Tate seriously. I've met some people that do. They're all fucking retarded. My mother's fucking one of them. He says the most generic self-help bullshit that's been said a gorillion fucking times, and she thinks this is profound wisdom because she hasn't seen it before, but she actually has. She's just a very easily influenced woman. Obviously, women are very easy to manipulate. She's fucking stupid. Okay, she was emotionally abused by like 2 guys after her husband died. She's not very bright. Of course, she's the kind of dumb motherfucker that takes Andrew Tate seriously, but everyone else can see that guy and recognize that he walks and talks like a fucking fruitcake, and he quit fucking kickboxing. Mind you, he stuck only to kickboxing because he can't hash it in other martial disciplines. He's a huge pussy who quit fighting because he's not actually good at it.
Made with fan service, half-naked girls, constant moaning.
Fan service isn't a bad thing. You're just gay.
And no strong, autonomous female characters who have arcs that don't involve being damsels and chasing after a man, and you have built an incel.
Yeah, that's not what builds incels, actually. People like you supporting a society that systematically emotionally abuses men and manufactures mental illness in them is what makes incels.
Fascism preys on kids like this. Fascism turns desperate boys into monsters that don't see women, the LGBTQ, or anyone different from them as people.
Cool, so when are we going to talk about the women that don't see average, healthy, and stable men as men? They just literally go undetectable and invisible, so these narcissistic fucking scumbag monsters can pretend that there's no good men out there. They actively go out of their way to abuse men who will treat them well, and then go out of their way to date men that treat them like shit, and then they go, wah, boo-hoo, men are bad. And this is coming from someone who has lied for sex. It's really easy to manipulate women to have sex with them. They're all stupid. It doesn't matter how many college degrees they have. Women are dumb. I've done it. I felt miserable, and I decided to not do it anymore. I've been in serious relationships, too. I've gone to the point where I choose not to have sex with women if I'm not in a serious romantic relationship with them. And people will still call me an incel, despite the fact that, yes, I have had sex. It's actually not that hard. Hell, if it was that hard for me, I could still always just rape women. My fucking VTuber persona aside, me as a man behind the character, I don't think I've ever met a woman stronger than me that could stop me from having sex with them, alright? Incels are incels because they're weak. And, you're making up a lot of bullshit here, guy. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you don't actually care about women, let alone men.
And then this country gives those boys...
Ah, yes, of course. Take a bunch of pictures of a bunch of fucking white guys, but don't take pictures of any of the blacks or the Arabs or the Asians that did any of this shit. Nope, just the white ones. Typical. Racist fucking nigger.
And turn into men, voters, pundits, or...
I like how he instantly just showed a bunch of married men that have kids. That was great of him.
Worse, fascism galvanizes the most desperate of us on power fantasy and leads many of us into voting our neighbors' rights away. It's
Says the guy who's voting his neighbor's rights away with every fucking vote he drops. Typical.
charismatic leaders offer nerds like the kid in my hypothetical an enemy to point their rage at.
Also, none of us think the Trumpy is a great leader. He may be somewhat charismatic. He's a great, TV guy. He could do The Apprentice all day and people will be happy with it. But again, only like fucking, 60, maybe 40%, I forget which direction I said it was, of his voters actually think he's a good president. Most of us don't.
And they often pick minorities. They often pick women. The unfortunate truth...
They pick minorities, they pick women. Well, maybe it's because, one, women are systematically groomed into being narcissistic scumbags. They already are neurologically predisposed towards having dark tetrad tendencies, and then when you put them in environments that actively seek to groom that type of behavior and reward that type of behavior, women become worse. And then when you say minorities, in quotes, it's not actually just minorities. It's like the disgusting, nasty, fucking evil black people that go around doing horrible things all the time, and the infinity illegal immigrants that are getting shipped here by fucking NGOs that are paying money out of pocket to make sure we have infinity immigrants that destabilize our economy.
Truth is that even some of the most left-leaning shows and movies still have gaps. They still struggle with diversity. They still struggle to write compelling women with autonomy.
They still struggle with diversity. When he says diversity, he doesn't mean diversity, okay? He means infinity niggers. Infinigers is always what communists mean when they say diversity. They don't care about diversity. They care about erasure. They want to erase everyone and everything and replace them with monsters. They don't want the Christian Nigerians to be in the media. They just want infinity criminal black people. That's what they want. They want Detroit niggers. They want the people from where I'm from to be in all of our cartoons and all of our TV shows. He wants infinigers, not diversity.
Or people of different races that don't lean on stereotypes. And in a culture that trends towards devaluing people, watching media that reinforces these ideas while not having any sort of media literacy, while your literal president and his ilk is telling you to deport people who don't look like you.
Okay, so he brought up media literacy. Media literacy for these fucking animals always means agreeing with the author when it's convenient and death of the author when it's not. What a surprise! Media literacy literally just translates to Marxist critical consciousness. That's all it is. For these fucking people, media literacy is always just a critical consciousness, period. Viewing all media through a critical lens. And when he says deporting people who don't look like you, surprise, you ass faggot nigger. I'm a Latino. I want to deport people who look like me. That look like me, okay? Because they're not like me. Visually, we have the same skin color. We have the same, phenotype. We have the same genetics. I don't want them here because they don't speak English. They don't have American values. They don't respect the Constitution. They don't want to become American. My family came here to become American. My family had a no Spanish outside of the house rule because we came here to be Americans. My father was the only one born in America, and by the time he was born, all of his siblings spoke English. So when he was growing up, he spoke English. And now, when he answers the fucking phone, he says, hello. He doesn't say hola. He says that when he's talking to his fucking mother, and his mother fucking only. Because he is an American. Even my grandmother from Mexico, fucking in her 80s, or is she in her 70s? She's old as fuck. She speaks English. So what the fuck is it with these fucking scumbags who come over here and refuse to speak English? Maybe I want them fucking gone because they don't speak my language and they don't value my fucking laws. They don't value my fucking culture. I want them out of here because they don't want to be a part of my country. You can't come here to take money and not be a part of my culture. Stay here, live here, be here. and actually be a part of my country or go the fuck home. But of course, because you're a racist fucking scumbag communist, it's just that your leader wants to get rid of people that don't look like you. Fuck you and your bullshit.
And mistreat women.
And mistreat women. Yeah. Ass flash news hole. The entire planet got as far as it is. All technology, all amazing works of art, all long-lasting fucking buildings were all built because men loved women. Because we made we made selfless fucking sacrifices from the heart because we love women, and we gave everything to keep women safe and to make women happy and to keep women healthy and to protect women. But of course it's mistreating women to treat them well, right? Fucking piece of shit.
All a recipe for disaster. This is the recipe for an incel. And we have seen this play out again.
Okay. So I like how he shows Ben Shapiro there. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Ben Shapiro's an incel now? Because he's had sex with his wife too many times and had too many kids? You fucking nigger.
And again, this is how we get our comment section trolls, our edgelords.
He doesn't know what trolls means. Just a heads up. A lot of people like him don't know what trolling is. Trolling is art.
Our incels and our school shooters. They are all...
yes, all those trannies that shoot up Christian schools. Yep, that's where this comes from.
Symptomatic of the same disease. They want to be the bullies. They don't want things...
You've sided with the bullies. When bullies started bullying you, you bent the knee and then you capitulated. You did what the bullies told you to do because you wanted to be the bully. And you're projecting. Again.
Get better. They just don't want to be on the bottom. And they will trample you just for a hit of dopamine.
Yes, Marxists will trample you for a hit of dopamine because they are evil, because they do want to be bullies, because they are weak and can't fight.
The sad truth is, nerds have always been this way. Shirtgate, Halo lobbies.
Nerds have always been this way. I like how we brought up Shirtgate because it was about a guy getting bullied to shit by communist faggots like him because he wore a cool shirt on a day that he did something he was very proud of.
Game stores and other events and spaces that have shown us time and time again that a lot of nerds simply aren't safe people. We constantly have to remind people that cosplay is not consent.
Yeah, no, you don't. That's a myth. Nobody has to be reminded of that. It's people like you who do that kind of stuff.
That calling people slurs is bad.
Calling people slurs is good. You're just weak and evil, and you hate fun. You hate things that make people happy. When my friends and I call each other slurs, none of us cry about it later. We all think it's funny, and we have a good time.
And that having a body pillow of a 14-year-old girl in a school uniform when you are 38 is gross.
One, it's not gross. Two, the age of the person who owns the body pillow doesn't matter. Because the age of the character doesn't matter to begin with. But if the age of the character did matter, it would just be gross if a 17, 18, 20-year-old did. It wouldn't matter if they were 34. You're just a fucking faggot piece of shit who doesn't actually like anime.
And that gay people aren't evil.
Gay people are evil. That's why they constantly do bad things. It's why they always disown gay people who aren't evil. Period.
Time and time again, we are shown that people who love One Piece, if given the chance, would worship a celestial dragon. These guys are just as oppressive as the Galra Empire. They just happen to also be a bunch of losers.
Yes, you would side with the Empire because you are a fucking loser.
That's why Elon Musk, a guy who doesn't invent anything and can't put a sentence together, is touted.
And can't put a sentence together. Okay, well, sure, he's not the most eloquent person on the planet, but I wouldn't say he can't put a fucking sentence together. That's pretty fucking retarded.
As a genius in these spaces. Because he's a loser, too.
Yes. Of course. This loser piece of shit's allowed to call someone super successful a loser. If success doesn't stop you from being a loser, what does? In fact, my lack of success is the only thing that stops me from being a loser. How many fights have I lost? Fucking 0. Does that make me a loser? I guess, because I still don't have any fucking money. I wasted my fucking youth. I wasted my 20s. I didn't value wealth or success, so I don't have any wealth or success. You know, I only started taking my finances seriously when there was a woman I actually wanted to marry in my life. And when that fell through, I started fucking feeling bad. And I just drank a lot of alcohol and ate a lot of food and just moped around being sad for a couple years. I guess that makes me a fucking loser. But even now, if you compare me, a fucking loser, to someone like this fucking asshole, I have way more skills than him. I'm way more intelligent than he is. I mean, if Elon Musk, someone who has infinity gorillion dollars, isn't or can't stop being a loser, how the fuck is someone like me going to stop being a loser? How is someone like him going to stop being a loser? At this point, he's just throwing around the word as an insult without substance. At least mean something when you say it.
Epitomizes what they think power looks like. Having access to women and capital. Nerds. Not
That is kind of what power is. I don't value power, you do.
all, but enough that it warrants conversation, are often just as bad ideologically as the people who bully them.
Yes, you are just as bad as the people who bully nerds because you're one of them. You joined them in order to avoid being bullied because you're too weak to stand up to them and you're too weak to fight them.
They are just as racist,
Yes, you are racist.
misogynistic.
Misogyny doesn't exist. I'm just going to say that at this point. Yeah, you can kind of pretend like it kind of does. I get it, some women get an unfair shake sometimes, but it's usually deserved anymore.
Vile and cruel
Yes, you are vile and cruel.
as their detractors and tormentors.
Yes, you are a detractor of moral actors, and you do torment actual nerds who did nothing wrong.
They just can't fight. I mentioned
Yes, you can't fight. That's why you made this video, because you're too much of a fucking pussy. You're lying about having actually gotten a physical contact or confrontation to actually stand up to your bullies. I know you're lying.
earlier that I was like this. I got bullied.
You're still like this, by
I
the
engaged
way.
in power fantasy. I wanted to get back at my bullies, but something changed when I was about 15.
It didn't change
I
your
joined
lying.
the club. I made friends. I met people who were different from me.
Bullies. You joined in with bullies so that you could bully people socially because you can't fight.
I learned about other lives, other people's families, other people's beliefs,
If you actually learned about other people's lives, families, and beliefs, you wouldn't be making this video.
and their ideals. I gained confidence. I became more sure of myself. I started fighting. I don't recommend it, but that's what I did.
You don't recommend it because you're weak and you didn't actually start fighting.
I started showering. That I do recommend. I highly recommend that.
He probably did start showering.
I became kinder. And honestly,
You did not. You made this video because you are an unkind person.
that's where it started. I became kinder, and being kinder allowed me to build a better life for myself.
It didn't, actually. You just grew up and got just enough credentials and experience to be more financially stable and removed from an environment in which a single mother convinced you to be a piece of shit. You continued to be a piece of shit after that, but your life didn't get better because you were a kind person. That's an objective statement of fact. You're an unkind person who seeks to maximize harm.
But today, we have people on the internet telling these people that empathy is a weakness,
Man, that really didn't age well.
that it's made up, that it's dangerous. People get hurt because of stuff like that. Nerds are radicalizing into the galactic empire they swore up and down they would revolt against.
Yes, you. You did that. That's you. You're just projecting again.
They aren't reading, they aren't
Mind you, this entire video is just one big projection on the part of him and everyone like him.
checking. They are running headlong into evil because the evil is offering them community and superiority.
See? He ran headlong into evil because it's offering him superiority. He did that. He's just pushing it onto us to make us look like bad guys because we actually stand up against bullies and bullying.
That obsession with power is making them the worst version of themselves.
And all of the non-bully scumbag nerds, we didn't actually get obsessed with power. It was never about power. For you, it's always been about power. Your misuse of language is about power. For us, it's not. We don't use words to obtain power. It's never been about power. We don't want to control others. We don't want to abuse others. That's all you and yours.
And I frankly have no idea what to do about it. I don't know what it takes to change their minds. They aren't happy.
You can't change their minds because they're strong enough to not be susceptible to bullying. They're just strong enough to not capitulate when they're told they need to submit. You can't change their minds because you're weak and they're stronger than you. There's no amount of, like, sophistry you can engage in that will convince them to change because you're always lying. Everything you believe is wrong and based on lies.
No matter how many immigrants we deport or women they harass, they aren't getting
They don't harass women. That's a lie.
jobs or girlfriends.
They have jobs, and the no girlfriends thing is more of a problem with women being groomed into being narcissistic animals, not so much because they're dysgenic freaks. Granted, that's a part of it too. A lot of nerds are dysgenic freaks that can't get a girlfriend because they're socially awkward, but let's be realistic. There's plenty of Gen Z guys that aren't fucking dysgenic freaks that also can't get girlfriends and have outright just decided to stop trying because they can't stand the women in their age group.
Nothing is changing, and they are still like this. I want to meet these losers with a degree of understanding, but at 31, I'm finding it harder and harder to feel bad for them.
Yeah, because you're a fucking scumbag piece of shit who lacks empathy.
As they become more violent and vitriolic. Like, dude, I'm sorry you got bullied, but getting a wedgie in the 5th grade should not make you a racist now.
You're right. Dealing with black people should make you a racist now.
So, I have to enjoy my nerdy hobbies at home, where nobody calls me racial slurs for having disagreements about Spider-Man.
That's never happened to him offline. He's lying.
And for the foreseeable future, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm the one who has to avoid conventions and stuff because faggots like you run everything. Because you're all too weak to stand up to bullies. So when a bully bullies themselves into a position of power and engages in entryism so them and their fucking mean girl fucking circle jerk of friends starts treating everyone like shit, you bend the knee and capitulate and say and do whatever you're told to say, and someone like me who always stands up for what's right just gets told I'm not allowed to come back. Patrons. This fucking scumbag piece of shit is patrons. Typical. Maybe I should actually bring my Patreon to life at some point.
I just wanted to say thank you to all of my patrons. I wouldn't be able to do this without you.
Look at this fucking faggot wearing a mask in this weather. It clashes with your beard, faggot retard. Doesn't look good. He's doing it because he's still scared of the fucking Corona bunga. Because he craves subservience and slavery.
I have a video shoot. But I just wanted to take some time out in real time to thank you. So, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for making this piece of shit video, you fucking scumbag. I want you and everyone like you to be raped to death forever. No matter which way you cut the cake, this guy's wrong about everything, and he's always projecting 1000% of the time. It's not possible for someone who shares any of his opinions to be moral or just in any capacity. And that's the end of it. I know this went on a long time because I kept interrupting him. I kept pausing. This is going to be long as shit, but I don't give a fuck. This pissed me off. I know he's lying because, of course, they always lie. It's not possible. And I wish I could beat this guy the fuck up and actually rape him just to prove a point. But, you know, of course, I'll get punished for doing the right thing, so why bother going out of my way to figure out where the fuck he's at, right? That's the end of the video. Goodbye, love you.